Welcome to the Ranch and Table Podcast, where we discuss all things related to our Texas ranch and our Ranch to Table restaurant located in downtown Rockwall. I'm your host, Lee Wells. Well, welcome to another podcast at the Wells Ranch Studios. This is our Thanksgiving episode, and today I am so excited to have my daughter Kayla with me on the podcast, and we're going to just sit and chat for a little bit, talk about what it's like to work together and some of our time together, and just some of the dynamics that we share and some of that. So I'm looking forward to that. Welcome, Kayla.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. We knew it was going to happen at some point. Since we started. Usually Kayla is the producer, and so she's the one that's usually in charge of running the cameras and sound and all that for the podcast. And so today you're in front of the camera.
In front.
Yeah.
A little different.
It's a little different on this side, right?
Yeah.
Well, you always do a great job producing and switching and all that stuff. But that's probably because you have a lot of experience with cameras and all of that. You want to tell people what we used to do before we opened the restaurant?
Was it like a year before the restaurant opened or two?
Yeah.
We would run cameras for different events, and we would stream, and we had the whole setup and, a trailer with the whole setup where you controlled the cameras and all that.
Yeah.
So I ran the camera for all these services for churches and other events and stuff, conferences.
Yep. We had a full production company, and I built a food truck. I did that. I built a TV truck, and we ran a 7-camera live setup with fiber-based cameras back to the truck. And so we could roll into any event center, stadium, just any building at all, and with just a couple of snakes or multi-cables, we could connect inside, and then we had multiple cameras and all that. So Kayla ran that with me during the summers when she was in school, and special events. We might have gotten you out of school a couple times to get to some of those events, but she was my main camera operator then when she could be there, and then spent some time doing all that. So now she's moved over and helped me do this. And so I guess my point is Kayla has been part of the business side of her and her dad for a long time. We've worked together for a lot of years now, through high school for sure. And then now that we've got the restaurant, you've been there since day one.
Yep. I started out there. First job. First and only job.
First real job. Where you had to go to work and work with people and all that. So we've got one of the cool things as a dad. Yeah, I think one of the coolest things is you have good kids. That's awesome. A lot of people have good kids, but then to be able to share time just away from the dinner table or away from family vacations or homework time or whatever, but to spend time like in real life together.
Right.
I think that's one of the coolest things.
Yeah. I'm very thankful to be able to have a relationship with you other than just being your daughter. It's very interesting. I think it was when, I've never told you this actually, but it was when Papa passed away, and I realized I was still young. I was only 14 or so. I was young. Didn't really understand anything yet. But when he passed away, I realized that no matter what I had going on, I would always be with you if you asked me to go do something, because I knew that I had wished I had done that more with Papa.
Yeah.
So I made the decision to always have a relationship with you and spend time with you.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I don't know if people always get a chance to get that revelation or that understanding that young. When someone's gone, that's it. There's no, all you can do is wish.
Yep.
It's over, and it's over, and it's nothing you can do. So we've had a lot of great times going down the road together, and then you helped me on the ranch.
Yeah.
Before the restaurant opened, helped me work cattle and got to learn some of that.
It was just me and you at that point.
Yeah, yeah. I was glad to have the help. But you know how to catch cattle, and you know how to run a squeeze chute, and you know how to run a hot shot and all that kind of stuff.
Learned a lot of things.
Yeah, you gave some shots and some different things. So the time that we get to spend together, I think, is what life is really all about. The rest of the stuff are just excuses to spend time together. Family vacation, really, that's just an excuse to spend time together. You know, and then when you get to work together the way that we have has been so, as a dad, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
And fulfilling and rewarding and all that. But so you've been in the kitchen or at some capacity at Wells since we opened.
Yes.
So you were in high school when we started. So what grade were you in when we started?
I think that would have been the beginning of my sophomore year.
Okay, so
Yeah.
sophomore, junior,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Because you were driving then, right?
It was before I was driving.
Really?
I was like 15.
Okay. So started helping out on weekends and some evenings after school, and have been there ever since. Now you're my kitchen manager, and you do all kinds of things for the restaurant, from placing orders to knowing how to make every item in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I think you can do it all.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of help too.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it all every day.
Exactly. I am very glad I don't have to do everything every day.
Right. But you can. There's nothing.
Yes.
I don't think there's anything in the kitchen you cannot make.
Right. No, that's right.
All the desserts, you know, all the temperatures on all the cook, all the times on all of the baking, on the from the bacon all the way to the cobblers, and you run the grill some during the week.
Yeah.
Right.
A couple days.
A couple days you run the grill. A lot of times you're on the line assembling burgers. And then at some other times you're overseeing and expediting and just whatever needs to happen, right?
Yep. Just do whatever needs to be done.
Yeah. I love that. And I'll tell you, as working with you for as many years as we have, it's really cool to have the confidence in somebody. And I have confidence in the team individually.
Right.
I do. We have a lot of good guys, people that work for us, They're a great team, and they all do their jobs well. They all do. And I don't just say that just in case they're listening. I really do believe we've got a great team, a very strong team. Our kitchen is so small, we have to have good people because you can't have an abundance of people.
Exactly, yeah. There's no one to fall back on other people if they're not great or whatever. You know, you either are or you're not. And we have a good team.
Nowhere to hide.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide.
So you either do your job well or you get moved over.
Right.
Because you gotta produce. Our kitchen's so small, but we push a lot of food out of our kitchen, and so everybody kind of has to be experts on everything.
Yes.
Because like at times that our breaks are going on or whatever, people have to shift over and do other people's jobs.
They have to be able to cover for each other. It just makes it so much easier, especially being so small and, you know, only having so many stations to do. It's really helpful if everyone knows, you know, all the different jobs.
Right. And they all do a great job of that. We were in a restaurant the other day. I don't want to say the name on here, but it was one of those new ones we went to, and we went over to the other side of Dallas, and it was like a fast food chain, but it was kind of newish, and man, there were people. It was like ants. You remember?
I do.
Yeah, it was like ants back there, and it's just all a glass wall.
Oh yes, I remember.
You know now what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's a glass wall, and you could see into the kitchen, and it was they might have had 50 people in their kitchen, and people were just running everywhere. And that is not the case in our kitchen. We have 4 or 5 basic stations, including prep in the back.
Yes.
And you have to be good at your job. And so you have to be able to do all of that. And you do a great job with it. And then you also lead them well, being the one that's been back there the longest. When you train well, when I know you're training a new person, I know it's going to be done right because you and I agree that those are the ways that things ought to be done, right?
Yeah, it's been so many times. I remember, like, it's just been through the years that if I find something that I'm not sure about or whatever, I can always come back to you and double check. So that's kind of cool about our having this relationship is if I ever have a question, I just come home and I talk to you about it. And then I go back and we fix it and it's never really a problem again. Right. And then doing that over the years has been able to make me know exactly what you want. Right. Exactly what we need to be doing.
Right. And that's with that longevity, it's been easy to keep that running. And then when new people come in, it's just an established process now. We already know what we're doing. So you can do all the desserts, you can do all the different burgers, all the sauces. You know how to make all the sauces.
Yeah, all the sauces. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, maybe this is your first podcast. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So we have 5 sauces that we make in house.
Yes.
I say every day. Some days we don't need to make every sauce every day, but we make 5 sauces ongoing
every week.
Yeah, in our kitchen, we make sure we have 5 homemade sauces, and some of those, we've had those for years now, and they've not changed.
Right.
The recipe stays the same. Yep. It's always the same. But the crazy thing is how much more we're making now than when we first started.
Yeah.
I think I figured it up the other day. I think we're running like a 55-gallon drum of ranch, like what, a month or something?
Probably. That's crazy though.
Yeah. I think it's what it is.
Gallons
like 50 gallons of ranch a month is how much ranch. And we put all that either on a burger or we put it in a 2 or 3 ounce little
2 ounce
cup. And then that goes out. So everything goes out in a little cup like that. In a 55-gallon drum, think about that, of ranch. And that's not counting spicy ketchup. We're probably pretty close to that with spicy ketchup.
We do a lot of that.
Yeah.
We make it multiple times a week.
Yeah. And then, of course, PB sauce, we don't use as much of that because people don't use it as a dipping sauce. Our barbecue sauce, we do quite a bit of that.
Yeah, we do.
Not that much because it's not necessarily a dipping sauce either, but we make our own barbecue sauce, our own peanut butter sauce, the ranch, and then we do a red chili sauce that we make from the red chili peppers.
Yeah.
And then the other one is the I just went blank.
Me too. So the ranch, the peanut butter sauce, spicy ketchup.
Yeah.
Barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce.
Are those the main ones?
Oh,
is there 1 more?
No, there's more. There's more.
I can't remember.
We're on the spot now.
I'm there every day. That's why, yeah.
We're on the spot now. The mics are on. The cameras are on. We can't remember what we do every day. But it'll come to me. Someone's screaming it right now at their computer.
Oh, man,
They're screaming it to us. What'd you say? The who? You got to say it out loud.
You can say it.
We don't do honey mustard by ourselves. Oh, man. I'm going to have to edit this and start over now because it's embarrassing that we don't know. We're going to start again. Ranch and spicy ketchup. Barbecue. The Southwest sauce. The red chili. And then
peanut butter sauce.
Did we already say that? So ranch, peanut butter.
Spicy ketchup.
Yeah.
Peanut butter sauce. Southwest sauce.
And barbecue.
That's
it. We got them. That's the 5. That's the 5. We do those. We really do those every week. Sometimes every other day. Yes. But anyway, and then we have 6 or 7 desserts. So let's go through the desserts. Now that we're on the spot, let's just do it. We got the 2 keto desserts, right? Yep. So the cheesecake,
berry cobbler,
and the berry cobbler, and then we got the 2 pies. So we got the chocolate and the coconut meringue pies, right? And then we got the peach cobbler, with ice cream. We got the brownie with ice cream, and the chocolate sheet cake.
Yep.
And that's it. So we have 7 desserts that we do.
Well, the shakes.
And then we have the shakes now.
Yeah.
Or you can do ice cream by itself.
Yeah.
So really that's 11 or 12 desserts if you separate them all out.
Yeah.
And then we have variations of those like the not your grandma style sheet cake, which is warmed up sheet cake, ice cream, chocolate shell, and whip all all on one massive,
gigantic,
amazing, delicious dessert.
So good.
So you have other variations of that. And of course, strawberry chocolate and vanilla shakes. So some variety on those as well. And just a plug here, we use It's Fate Creamery ice cream on all of our ice cream and our shakes.
Yes.
The best. They are simply the best in the ice cream. Oh my
so
gosh.
good. There's nothing better than it. I don't know how they do it. It's just so good.
You know what? They just got back from Vegas.
Really?
It was like a national ice cream creamery something. I don't know what the thing was, but it was Vegas. It was big, and it was a nationwide thing, I believe. I don't think it was international. I think it was national, but I could be wrong. They brought home 3 prizes, 3 ribbons out of that big event. And so anyway, amazing. That's who we use, and we're happy to have them, and they do a great job for us.
They do.
We love doing that. We love having local partners. So.
Yes.
What else? Let's go through that list. We got local ice cream.
Yeah.
We got local tea.
Yeah. Sterling tea.
Sterling tea, amazing tea. You know, we've won awards for our tea, and we've beat out like boba houses and tea shops for our tea because Sterling tea is just that good. They made us they made us our peach mango blend, and oh my gosh, it doesn't even need sugar. I mean, it doesn't even need to be sweet. It's so good.
Yes.
Just so it's crisp and clean. Anyway, what else do we use local? We do the ice cream. We do the tea. Our beef is local. It's from our ranch.
Yes.
Our hot dogs are local.
They are.
They come from about a county over from where we are in Rockwell there, south of us. So they come off of a ranch direct to us. Our buns, our gluten-free buns are local.
Oh yeah.
From Unrefined Bakery.
Refined.
Out of Dallas. We've got several things that we do. I could stop and think some more.
And then we've done collaborations as well, like short-term things throughout the years as well.
Where we would bring in somebody's, like we first opened, we brought in Sideways barbecue brisket.
Yeah.
I need to do this again. People have asked for it for years, and put it on a burger.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember, yeah.
So it was our burger, beef, bun, and then we put their brisket, our barbecue sauce.
Yes.
And then they made us some
the pickled onion.
Pickled onions,
yep.
Yes. Wine pickled onions, and delicious. And put those on that burger. Oh my gosh.
That was so good.
I need to do that again. I'm sure Josh and those guys will do it for us. I mean, I'm sure they would. I just have to ask them. And then like we've been on a couple of pizzas with Sonata, with Kevin at Sonata's. Most recently we did a meatloaf with them. They used our beef.
I remember that.
Yeah. For meatloaf. And Kevin told me the other day, he said, "Man, when you're on our pizza," he said, "that's like our top selling pizza every year or something." I mean, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said when Wells beef gets on our menu, it just goes. And they had a great success with their meatloaf too. So
yeah, I remember that.
It's a lot of fun to be able to work together. Of course, in the past we've used the Bagel Lady.
Yes,
we used her bagels on our buns. Those are delicious. Yeah, they don't keep very good though. That's a hard.
We had to freeze them and stuff, and it wasn't.
We tried to
the
make
easiest thing.
Yeah, because bagels they go not stale. Well, maybe it's stale. They just get hard quick just because of the way they're made and what they're made of. They're too dense.
Better fresh.
Yes. Yeah. When first day you put a bagel on a burger, from there it's amazing, delicious. But we couldn't make it last longer, and it's hard to get back and forth every day. So and we've done the donut.
Yep, I was about to say it. I was like, "Do you remember the donut burger?"
Oh, we did the donut burger.
That one was good.
I get people asking about that all the time. We did. For the listeners that don't know, we did a collaboration with our donut shop down in downtown right there, and sweet people, good people. They came in and had burgers. I tell you this, they came in and had burgers. It's been a couple months ago now. But they came in, loved their burgers, and I said, "Do you ever want to do that again?" They said, "Just let us know. We're happy to do it." What we did is we had them design like a solid donut at the bottom, like one that you do like a cream filled or something. I
Right.
think they're called like a Bismarck or something. They're just a solid glazed donut because the bottom needed to be solid to hold
Right.
that patty, right?
Yeah.
And then what we did is you remember what we put on it?
I know there were green chilies on it.
Yes.
And was there bacon?
Yes.
And cheddar cheese?
Yes. You got it. That's what we
Yeah.
did. It was
Okay.
simple. It was a real
was very
simple
simple, yeah.
burger. But then we regular glazed donut on top. And goodness, it was good. The spice of that green chili with the saltiness of the bacon.
It worked really well.
Oh, with our beef and then the sweetness of the donut. We need to do that again. We need to bring that back. But those are fun things to do.
Yes.
And it highlights other businesses, you know, and this is Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving podcast. And so I think that ties in real well with what we're talking about. Just being real thankful for the relationships that we have.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about our relationship a little bit at the top of the podcast, but I think that to have the kind of relationships that we have with other businesses in town who say, "Hey, we'll work with you. We're not going to feel threatened or feel like you're our competition or something like that." I think that speaks well of our community and the other business owners.
Oh, yeah. It makes you feel very thankful to be in the place that we're at in Rockwall because everyone is so kind and so, like, they were so welcoming from the beginning, too. So
That's true.
very, very thankful for that.
You know, I think there's probably other guys listening or other restaurant owners maybe that will hear this at some point and say, "Man, that's weird. Y'all don't hate your neighbor and
Like from other places.
Yeah, you don't hate the other. You don't feel like they're your competition and they're trying to take your customers. No, not at all. I do not think that. And I have a book coming out, as you know.
I do.
Because you pre-read some of it.
I did.
And I won't ask you on air how much you read or not, but you did read some of it. And one of my chapters in that, or sub-chapters in that, it talks about there's no such thing as competition. And I make the point that I don't think we should see other restaurants or any business in their other line of business as competition. I think that we should see them as our neighbors that are doing something similar, that are giving a different product maybe in a different way or with a different type of service or, you know, different offerings. Like maybe they have a bar and we don't. Maybe they have TVs on the wall and we don't. Maybe they use a different kind of bun and meat than we do. But that doesn't make us enemies.
Right.
It makes us different, and different's good.
We're all serving the same community, you know.
Right.
People who eat out like pretty often, they want options anyways. You know, you don't go to the same place all the time. Not everyone does that, you know. So the more options, kind of the better for the community.
Well, they wouldn't eat with us every night if we were the only place there anyway,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
They would eat at home or they would go into Dallas or
Right.
they would go to, you know, one or two restaurants in Greenville or whatever, you know, just whatever. They would drive out and they'd go find some variety if it wasn't right there.
Right.
I've always said that the best thing that could happen to downtown Rockwall, where we're located, is that every restaurant perform at the very top of their game every day. That's the best thing that can happen for us. It's bad business when there's people that are not doing a good job around you, and there's maybe restaurants that are just kind of dragging and they're not performing well. That's bad on the whole of the whole area.
Right.
I mean, it's like, do you want to go downtown Rockwall and eat? And they're like, some of those restaurants down there just aren't that good.
Right.
Versus, you want to go downtown Rockwall and find? Oh, absolutely. Every place down there is a hit. I mean, every place down there is a winner.
Right.
Well, I think that's what it is. And even if they don't come eat with us, they got to drive by us.
Yep.
They got to see us. They got to be, if they're all staying out on 30 or going to another town to eat.
Right. Going down to Rowlett or, you know, down there.
They're not seeing us.
Right.
So it's good for us to have good business around us. It doesn't bother me a bit that we have Ben 303 with Matt right down the street from us. I don't get over there very often. We just don't, when they're open we're either not in town because it's like a Sunday or whatever, or we're at our place. And so restaurant owners have a hard time. I've learned this. Restaurant owners have a hard time eating at other restaurants around them because they're usually tied up at the same general time.
Yeah.
So
they're open at the same time.
Yeah. So we're working when we're there, and then when we're done, we're like, we're heading to the house, you know.
Right.
We're not going to go out and have a family dinner at this hour. So you don't always get around to everybody, but that doesn't mean you don't support them and love that they're there. Man, I love that those guys are down there doing a great job, just turning out classic Texas deliciousness. I mean, steaks and redfish and right. I mean, that's amazing. You go up the other way. You know, I've mentioned Kevin and Zanata's, and they kill it every single day they're open. Wonderful menu. I mean, you just go down the list. Pier 101, man, they're chef-driven place. Now that I've started mentioning names, someone's going to get left out. But I could just about name all the restaurants down there,
right,
that are around us. Man, people give us a hard time a lot of times about Boots Burgers being over there, and they're like, man, doesn't that like bother you? I'm like, no, that doesn't bother me.
No reason for it to, really.
No, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like those guys. Now, this is the honest answer. When somebody asks me, what do you think about Boots? I'm like, those guys are legends. That's the honest truth. I've said it 1,000 times in 5 years. We're the new guy. We're the new guy. They are like, they're legends.
Yep.
They have been doing this since 1967.
Wow.
And they do what they want to do the way they want to do it. And if you like it, come by. And if you don't worry about it. And they do their thing. You know, that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all. And the fact that it seems like it's always down to like us and them on like the polls on social media. I'm cool with that.
Right.
Man, I mean, I'm actually honored to be listed among
the fact that we're
them.
even there. Like, it's not even a competition. It's the fact that we're given the opportunity to even be listed on something.
Right.
Is really crazy.
Right. There's other places that have a burger that are never mentioned, and I don't know why. You know, I don't understand all the dynamics there.
Right.
Obviously, they're doing something well to be open.
Right.
So I have no animosity or no hard feelings or anything towards anybody. We're all in the service business. I think at the end of the day, we're all serving customers. We're all offering a product. Hopefully, we're proud of. If not, maybe we need to reevaluate that. But we're all doing a job trying to serve people who choose us. And that's the bottom line. And I think that I'm just real thankful. Just real thankful that people choose us when they do. When they don't, that's fine. There's going to be someone else that chooses us. And we're just going to take care of whoever walks in the door the best that we can. But the people around us, the better they do, the better we do.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
It's true. The better everyone is, the more draw you'll have for other people, get a good name going, and then it works out for everybody in the same way.
Absolutely. Yep. Well, I'm thankful that you understand those things too, you know, because some people would fight about those things or argue about those things. But I think you've been around me and we worked together enough that these ideas are just like family ideas. It's just
they make sense, I think.
Well, I appreciate that.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Oh, I appreciate you agreeing with me. But yeah, we're real thankful for just whatever has happened. It's been a blessing, and we're just thankful to have what we have and to do what we do and have the customers that we have. It's amazing. Let me ask you this. Whenever we talk about some of the things that you've learned and some of the things that you've done in the years working together, tell me about some of the leadership of others, some of the things you've learned about leading others and how you've developed within yourself, because you're still young, how you've developed into the leader that you have become.
It took a long time, I think, to do that because I started so young. And when I was in high school, I was not very social. I didn't really talk at all. And then when we started the restaurant and I started working there, I was able to sort of come out of my shell more. And I think that was like the first step to even understanding everything like around me. I don't know if that makes sense, but
so the more you came out of your shell, the easier it was to lead and to
yes. So I came out
speak.
of my shell, and that was like the first step, because that's what I've really seen being at the restaurant has been the most beneficial, is being able to find out who I am and what I'm, how I present myself and all that stuff. But becoming a leader, a lot of that is because of learning from others like yourself. I've seen how you led everybody. You lead me, and you lead everyone that works with us, and seeing that example has really given me, taught me how to lead myself.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. It's very nice.
You're welcome.
I wasn't asking for a compliment, but I'll take it.
It's just the way it is. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you, and I love you, and I'm proud to have you as my dad. I really am. Even though I am your dad, even though I am your daughter, I feel like I'm able to see it from like the outsider's perspective. And I'm just, thankful to have an example and then be able to, take those things that you do and then take those into the restaurant and lead by,
Right.
by your example.
Well, I think it's interesting when you talk about kind of looking from the outside in. I feel the same way about you and your sister. I see everybody has kids that have kids that, if you got kids, everybody wants to think the best of them and think that they're great and they do well and all that.
Right.
And I don't want to say that anybody's perfect. I mean, neither one of us are saying that either one's perfect.
No.
But you can kind of step outside of where that relationship and say, you know what, other kids are doing this, or maybe kids are getting in trouble, or maybe they're being rebellious right now, or they're doing these things their way, or whatever. And I can see from the outside as well that I got a lot to be proud of in both of y'all. It's really cool to have that kind of relationship where you can see that about each other.
Yeah.
So let's talk one more thing here before we get to the fun part here. I'm looking forward to rapid fire with you. I'm looking forward to asking you some hard questions. But at the end of the day, what would you say you're most thankful for in your life, as far as you've come so far? Like, looking back, what is, sum that up for us, and then I'll try to sum it up and we'll move on.
Oh man, what am I most thankful for in my life thus far?
Just in general.
In general.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thankful for where I am. You look back, and I'm only 21, so I've only had so many years to, understand things. And, you can kind of see what led you to like your point. And I am just really thankful for my foundation, which was given to me by my parents. And it sounds, I know I keep bringing it back to you, but you and Mama, I'm very thankful for you, because you've given me like my faith. You've given me the things that I need to live with, the things I need for my foundation to then do whatever I want to do with the rest of my life, So that's like a really big thing to be thankful for, because it really sets the stage for what I will do for the rest of my life.
Well, I think that's probably a parent's number one job, if we were to stop and think about it, is preparing our kids for real life. And to hear that come back as an answer is amazing, because that's what we have tried to do. We've tried to let you make decisions, let you make mistakes, let you figure some things out, but at the same time be here to help you move forward and grow. And so we love being parents. I think that's the coolest thing. When Linda and I first had kids and started this journey of parenting, was we waited 5 years. We were married 5 years before we ever had you. And so we traveled and we worked hard and we did some things, just playing. But when it was time to have kids, it was time to be parents. And we have loved every minute. I think I speak for my wife here. we've loved every minute of parenting, and the ups and the downs, and the good and the bad and the hard times. I mean, went through COVID together, and your graduation was actually, we could only take like 5 people to a huge stadium. I don't understand the logic there.
Yeah.
To sit one seat over from somebody and right behind somebody else, but we could only have 5. Anyway, I'm still bitter. I'm still upset by the way all that worked. But we went through a lot of stuff that a lot of generations never did go through. But we're on this side of it.
Yep.
We made it.
Yep. I'm glad to be over that part of life.
But your graduation was your last semester? Was it your last semester?
It was my last semester, yeah.
Of senior year.
Yeah, because it was spring break. And then right after, we never went back after spring break. So I'm still on spring break.
So it was more than spring break.
Yeah.
I mean, more than semester.
It was pretty much a whole semester. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least, pretty much a whole semester.
Yeah. Well, we made it through it. We made it through it. We don't ever have to go through that again.
No.
God willing. Well, I want to say that I'm thankful for, like I started at the top of the podcast, I'm thankful for the relationship that we've been able to build and the things that we've been able to accomplish together, because even though, Lee Wells is the guy that owns Wells and Wells Cattle Company and all that, that's only in title if I don't have the support of my family, if I don't have the help of the family. That's just, it only goes so far until you need to lean on others and make it happen together. And so from the beginning, you and my mom and Tina, my aunt, mom's sister, you 3 have been the core, really, along with myself, that have made this happen. And I think when I look back over the success and the things that we've done, you're right there in the middle of that success, and your ability to get up and make it happen in the kitchen every day. I can't be in the kitchen every day. I can't be at the restaurant every day. We've got too many cattle to run. We've got too many things going to keep up now. But I don't have to worry about that, because I know Mom or Tina are out, they're out front, and that you're in the back, and you're making it happen the way it needs to be every day. And if something does go wrong, I pick up the phone or I text you and say, hey, got a bad review. Y'all check the temperatures, you check your grill, whatever. And I can know that those things are happening. So I'm very, very thankful. I don't think we would be at this point today if it wasn't for the team, the family core that makes it happen.
Right.
And so I'm very thankful for that. Are you ready for rapid fire questions?
Ready.
Now, I think this is one of my favorite parts of the podcast. I hope other people enjoy it as much as I do. You want to go first question? You want me to go first question? You go first question.
Okay.
All right. First question.
What made you decide to open the restaurant?
Okay. So, we were selling beef to the public, for about a year. And, I knew that was only going to be so successful. We could only go so far with selling beef wholesale. A lot of people sell beef wholesale now, either in cuts or some version of their business plan. My first episode of the podcast that we aired was with Willie G, and he does this for a living, and so there's a lot of guys doing these kinds of things. So I knew that for as far as I wanted to go and as much as we wanted to accomplish, I needed to do something more with it than just sell it by the pound. And so I started looking for other avenues to get the beef out there. The first avenue I tried was to sell to restaurants, and that didn't go over well, which kind of, I say this in the book as well, I'm thankful that it didn't now, because I don't know that I'd want to compete with myself in other restaurants with our beef, or I don't know if we would have ever had a restaurant had we started selling as much
if that
beef
was successful there.
Yeah. If we were selling everything we had, I don't know that we would ever try to open a restaurant with it.
Right.
I had one of the biggest beef companies, one of the biggest protein companies in Dallas-Fort Worth contact me and want to carry our beef. And they actually even paid for some of our lab testing, shelf life testing, and things like that themselves. And they wanted to do our whole ground beef in their. They wanted to warehouse it and sell it out through their trucks to other chef-owned restaurants.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. And we worked together for a while. Great guys, good people, still good people. Talked to them not too long ago, and it just didn't work out. There were some numbers they were looking for, some things we were trying to do. The business end, we could never get it to work just right for both, and timelines. And it's just business stuff. It didn't work out. Well, again, I'm looking back thinking I'm thankful for that it didn't.
Right.
Nothing against those guys. They're wonderful folks. But for us, it's turned out well this way. And so that's how we ended up starting the restaurant. Was I knew we needed a place to really do something more with our beef. And then we also
an outlet for that.
Yeah, a bigger outlet. Mm-hmm. And then people kept saying, you need to open a restaurant. This would make a great burger. I mean, there was some encouragement from customers as well that kind of helped push that concept and idea. Yeah. So we ended up pulling the trigger on it, and here we are 5+ years later.
It's pretty cool.
We're still loving it. All right, you ready for your first question?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm going to start out easy, then we're going to go ramp it up.
Oh, great. Okay.
All right, so if you could be any superhero, I know you like all the Avengers and all this. I know you've watched all the Star Wars and all those things.
Oh, yeah.
People don't know that you're like a little closet nerd.
I am a nerd.
You read books. Oh, and just so you know, she's got a TikTok, so you got to go find her on TikTok. What's your user?
Man. It's Kayla's Reading.
Kayla's Reading. She's on TikTok, and she reviews books that she reads and talks about unboxing and collections and all that kind of stuff. And so you got to go find her on TikTok and go follow her and heart all her stuff. That's what I've been told to do. And so Dad tries to do that as well. But so question is, what superhero would you be if you could just be one?
I was thinking about Marvel, but then you brought up Star Wars.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of them as a superhero.
Well, of course they are. I mean,
yeah.
Luke Skywalker is a superhero.
Yeah. I'm going to go with, I don't know. The Black Widow is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like a fighter.
Oh, yeah.
I would, yeah.
She can handle herself.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I'd do that.
Yeah. You have to look good in those bodysuits. I don't know about that.
I don't know about the bodysuits.
Yeah, I don't know. But all right. So what you got for a second question?
This one's more serious.
Okay.
You do so much. People, I don't know if everyone knows how much you do, but I get to see it, and I'm very, it's cool to be able to see this side of you that people don't see, Mm-hmm. So my question is, what drives you to do all that you do?
So when you say I do a lot, you're talking about like I eat a lot, or no, that's not what you mean?
Not this moment, no.
Okay. So you're talking about just the business?
Like, I guess I don't know. It's kind of a broad question. What drives you to, people don't just make businesses like all the time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have
I would call myself a serial entrepreneur for one. I love the process of launching a business. I love that challenge. I love the effort that it takes. I love doing the jobs that it takes to start a business. Mm-hmm. One of these days, I've got the one book coming out now. I've got a couple concepts for second and third books coming out, and one of them I'm working on in my mind is I haven't told anybody about, but kind of the steps you take to launch something from nothing. I made a post on Facebook today and talked about using your resources correctly, and it's a picture, it's a cartoon of someone that stacked a bunch of ladders on themselves like flat, and they're barely reaching the top of the wall looking over, and one ladder would have been enough to get over that wall, but they didn't understand how to use their resources, right? And so I want to maybe write a book about how helping people who have an idea make it into it. I've started 8 businesses now, 8 companies. Mm-hmm. And so And that's not counting like the podcast or the book. I'm not counting that. I'm just saying eight like companies. And so I enjoy the process. But what drives me is I believe that God gifts people with abilities as he sees fit. And I'm driven by the idea that there's a scripture that says of much, for who much is given, much is required. And so I believe that God has given me abilities to do certain things and help certain people. And that's what drives me every day is I've got people that depend on me for payroll, people who depend on me for their life, their livelihood. My family depends on me for a roof over their head and protection and finances, various things. And that drives me. That drives me every day to get up. And there's some people who have to be driven. And then there's some people who are self-driven. I don't need anybody to call me in the morning and say it's time to get up. I'm going to get up. I'm going to set my own hours, my own alarm. I'm going to accomplish what I need to accomplish that day. And that drive, I think, comes from just the responsibility of all the people who depend on me. And I love doing that. That's not a burden. It's not something that someone needs to feel sorry for me about. I'm just a driven person, and I love to accomplish things and help other people. And so, like this book coming out, I hope with all of my heart that it helps people do better in business and are more profitable in business and can take better care of their families and work better in their communities. If I could see that come back as a result, I would be so happy.
Yeah.
It's not about money. I'm not trying to make an extra $1,000. I would love for that book to go out and just be a blessing to people, like turn a light bulb on in their brain and say, oh, I could try that. Or, man, why hadn't I done that? Or, man, that's really working for him. Let me try it for me.
Right.
And if that was the case, that would be reward enough. So I'm driven by that. I'm driven by just trying to help people. I know that may sound silly, but that's what gets me up in the morning.
That's interesting. I like it.
You ready for your second question?
Yes.
What is your now this is a hard one.
No. I'm not ready then.
This is a hard one. What is the best memory growing up? When you think about your childhood, best memory.
Memories. There's so many memories.
Well, that's what makes it hard.
I know. It's so many memories, and then each person, like you have memories with each people, like each person in your life. I talked about him earlier. I don't know. No. I mean, I guess I could say going to Disney World is not the best, but it's really up there.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go back.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Hey, Disney's a big deal. We've been...
I want to see the Star Wars one.
Oh, okay.
Like at Disney, yeah.
Yeah. How many times have we been to Disney? 3 times?
2 times.
2?
I thought. 2, right?
2 times.
Yeah,
2 times. Been to Disney twice. Disney World twice, yeah. And they were both fun. Y'all were at different ages. It was fun. We enjoyed it. Okay, that's a good one. What you got for me?
Okay, this one's the most important question I think anyone will ever ask you, okay?
Okay, I'm ready.
And it is, which daughter is your favorite?
Oh my, here we go. Which daughter is my favorite? So here's the honest answer. You are both 2 of my favorite human beings on the planet. I can honestly say that. I love my wife. She means the world to me. My mother. I have dear friends outside of that circle of close family.
Right.
But you and your sister are 2 of my very favorite human beings. And the reason is because you contain the best of both of us. And so Linda, your mama, my wife, the best, I think y'all embody the best of both of us. You're smart. You're smarter than both of us somehow. I mean, smarter than me for sure. Beautiful, well-rounded, just balanced people. And love to spend time with you. So there's no answer to that. There's no answer to that. There's no way that the one is more than the other. People come into the restaurant and they say, "What's your favorite burger?" And I'm like, dude, that's not a fair question. It's like asking, "What's your favorite kid?" And
so I'm compared to a burger. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
Well, no, I'm not comparing you to a burger. I'm giving the illustration that people ask all the time, "What's your favorite?" And I'm like, "How do you pick your favorite kid? You can't."
Right.
And then I have some say, "Yes, I can," but no, they're not. They don't mean it. I hope they don't mean it. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you're both, as a honest answer, you're both equally a pain in my rear. No, you're both equally beautiful people, and there's no way to pick. You both have individual, interesting personalities and differences and traits and talents and ways about going about life that when you have kids someday, you'll understand that there's no one over another. It's just like if we could have had 2 more kids, or if we'd had another kid, it would just be split between 3. Love never divides; it always multiplies. Mm-hmm. So that's the answer. All right, you ready for this? Now, this is number 3, right?
Yes, this is number 3.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
If you could have one wish and it come true right now, and the wish cannot be for multiple other wishes.
Okay.
That doesn't work. So if you could have one wish right now and it come true, what would it be?
Do you have any idea what I'm going to say?
I have no idea.
Really?
I have no idea what you're going to say.
Oh, one wish.
One wish.
That I would be able to go back and see Elvis live.
Okay.
Did you think I would say that?
I have no idea what you're going to say.
Funny.
That's no idea.
That's exactly what I thought. The first thing I thought, I would go back in time to like the 70s and I would just have a great day and I'd see Elvis live.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm an Elvis fan.
Oh, yeah.
I love him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm going to say this and I guess we have to wrap up here at some point, but because I could sit and talk to you all day.
Yeah,
obviously.
well, we do that anyway.
We sit and talk all the time. But for the folks that are listening, if they're still with us, the thing you don't know about Kayla until just now is she, people call people old soul, like an old soul. And that means that they just are older, maybe older, wiser than their years, or they are a person out of their time. Kayla Wells is a young lady removed out of her time. She should have been a 60s, 70s person. And what I mean by that is all the music she listens to, her dad can't stand.
Love oldies.
All the 60s and 70s music is... And she loves all the mamas and papas and Tell Me Some More.
The Carpenters.
Oh, gosh.
I like all of them. The 80s,
yeah.
70s, 60s, 50s.
We used to fight in the car about no more Kayla music.
Yep.
Because we get Dad never has really been a fan of the 60s and 70s.
He hates it. It's the craziest thing.
I don't like talking about a hammer. I don't like the music. I don't like the sound of a lot. Now 70s like funk I like. I mean, I get down with some,
like disco-y.
Disco.
Type,
I like some of the bass. And, I like all that. But the smoother, like
folk,
slower folk stuff, it's not for me. Everyone has their choices in life, and that's one that I don't like. But it's funny, and that's what you listen to. And that's what you love. And just this, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, you got to take a trip to Graceland.
To Graceland. That was the best day. That was the best little weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
So fun.
And you got to do all the tours.
Oh, yeah. I splurged on that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go, and I'm going to make the best of it.
So you did like the VIP tour.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that it was me and my grandma, Jude.
Uh-huh.
She went with me to Graceland, and it was just me and her on the tour. And we did like the one based on the Elvis movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like an actual person, it wasn't on a tablet or whatever.
So you had a tour guide.
It was a guided tour, yes.
Yeah.
And we got on the tour bus, just me, Mamu and him. And he was like, I don't know what you prayed, but this never happens. And it's never just two people. And I don't know how this happened, but it's just you two today for the tour. And we had the best time.
You could ask him anything.
Oh yeah. And the way I am, I don't normally ask a lot of questions in like big groups. I'm not that great in a giant group, but because it was one-on-one sort of, we had the best time and had a bunch of conversations throughout the whole tour.
That cool.
It was so fun. And then we saw the museums afterwards, and he let us come back for like another day and like sign the back of the ticket. And we got to go through the whole like Graceland tour because it's so much more than just his house.
Yeah.
It's a very fun time.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, that's my very mature 21-year-old that loves Elvis and all his music. Now Elvis music, I don't mind that near as much as some of the old folk stuff.
That's a little different. Yeah.
So anyway, well, thank you for coming on and doing this Thanksgiving podcast with me. And I appreciate all the work you do behind the scenes, making it work. And thank you to Linda today, my wife, for producing. She's if there's any mistakes, no, she didn't make any mistakes. She never does. She's never wrong. But anyway, she wants to say something.
She's rolling her eyes right now.
She wants to say something so bad right now, but she doesn't have a microphone. And this is such a power position for me right now. I'm going to pay for it later. But anyway, thanks for doing it. Thanks for the conversation. Thanks for being my girl.
Yeah.
Thanks for being one of my favorite daughters.
Oh.
And all right, this is Lee Wells on the Ranch and Table podcast. And thank you for being with us today. And as we sign off, we always say, adios, farewell, good luck. Can't read my writing. Bye-bye.
Bye.